you're listening to 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kaladako Rubatabo. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon. It is time, for you and I, to start what we usually do by this time, talk for development. Like our religious leaders would say, a closed mouth is a closed destiny. And today, I have structured the show in a way where it is going to be just you and I talking. And I want us to really talk and look at some of the issues bedeviling the country Nigeria. For instance, the local government autonomy issue has grown new developments. You must have heard the story that there is the talk, the Senate is talking, and they have decided to create a totally new electoral commission for local government elections. So we will look at that, the 4 o'clock hour. We would also look at, still the, this time House of Reps, I was going to say still the national legislators, but this time the House of Reps, Imo Gochere to be precise, brought up a bill asking for a single 6-year tenure for executives at the 3 levels of government. And I am looking forward to that conversation as well, because I am wondering, is this in any way an attempt by the legislators, to weaken the executive arm of government? Because the executive arm of government wields so much power. That's from the political angle. But from a more developmental angle, I am looking at how this will impact, the Nigerian governance space. What do I mean? Will these stop corruption? Will these increase creativity? Will this also mean that parties can play good politics rather than the politics of corruption, self-interest, and I don't know. I'm not going to say that so I don't put myself in trouble. But you're welcome once again. Remember, we're live on Facebook, Nigeria Info page. We are active on X, Nigeria Info page, and we are live on YouTube, Nigeria Info page. So please go to any of these platforms and watch me live as I bring your way conversations for development. Or better still, you can follow me on social media, Dkalada, TheKalada. All right. That being said, let's take a look at my big stories for today. That's how we usually start the show, from immediately after Rivers today, sometime around 3. And we look at big stories first, 4 o'clock hour, a topical issue which I've introduced to you already. Same with the 5 o'clock hour. 6 o'clock hour is open season, where we do a recap. And of course, at the top of each hour, we have a news bulletin. Enough of the introductions. Okay. So yesterday ended a 2-day PDP governors meeting that happened at Enugu. The chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, yesterday while I was on the show, I think I was in big stories at the time, read out the resolution. Interesting. He criticized the APC-led government, saying the economy is so much in a disastrous state that all the little gains that were done in 16 years of the PDP eroded by APC-led governments. And, they asked the government to sit up. They also talked about the Ondo-Edo elections and asked the government not to interfere, asked INEC to conduct credible elections, and also, vowed to take back sensitive positions of government, so that they can bring succor to Nigerians. That's what they said. They also made mention of, minimum wage, saying Labour has got the right to ask for a new minimum wage, but negotiations should be done there's a word they use. I'm trying to, it should be done fairly and with caution. I think something like that. They also said the federal government should fast track the minimum wage. By the way, I think they're supposed to have a meeting today, so we would get to find out what the new minimum wage is, possibly, emphasis on possibly, by the end of today. They said all these things and many more, but that's all these things, my focus. My focus is that the PDP governors came out and said that they stand with Governor Fubara. Remember, I told you yesterday that their meeting basically was to talk about the National Working Committee and to talk about what's it called now, the political crisis in Rivers State. Now, I'm wondering, some of you said yesterday, why now? Why is it that the PDP governors are not awakening at this time? And then I'm thinking, could it be related in any way? Could it be related in any way to the recent policies or political moves by the federal government? Because remember, not long ago, some of these governors were saying, yes, our governor here in Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, His Excellency, had also said, hey, let us support President Tinubu. Let's support, because that's the only way for Nigeria to be successful. And if Nigeria succeeds, you and I will succeed as well. If Nigeria fails, you and I will fail, right? And so we talked about it. Was it yesterday? Was it the day before? Our big stories. And then I'm thinking, some of these governors also said similar things. But it looks like that narrative is changing. Why is it changing? I can't help but ask. APC has said they would respond when the time is right. However, they have come out to say categorically that they would support the Rivers State governor in resolving the political crisis in the state. Now, Governor Bala Mohammed, made this known while reading the communique at the end of the PDP governors or the PDP governors forum yesterday at Enugu. All right, so let's take a listen to what Bala Mohammed had to say.
Forum notes the crisis in Rivers State of the party and commits to supporting the governor of Rivers State, and also resolve that the issue could be done through the political solution that will be required and other measures that all the leaders, the organs of the party will be committed so that we can go together and resolve this issue with minimal friction and division or rancor.
Okay, so they stand with the governor in resolving the crisis. A lot of people say, that means that, I saw a lot of things on X as of last night. That means that they're going to, fight against, some people say the FCT minister, yes, on weekend, push him away from the party. But when you listen to that again, they said that we're going to look for political solutions. So what do you think is the political solution in this? Because the last time there was a political solution, it came from the president. It was not accepted by many Rivers people, or some Rivers people. And the question is, what are the options on the table as it relates to a political solution? Governor Fubara, former Governor Wike, shake hands. Is that a political solution that is feasible? Are you going to accept the fact that, there is the likelihood that they could ask the governor to embrace the, what's it called now, the 27? And that's also a political solution, right? Could it also mean that they would ask the FCC minister, hey, hands off the political structure from Rivers State, or political structure of Rivers State, I beg pardon? That also is a political solution. Is that feasible? Okay. FCT minister, we can't give you XYZ. We can give you XYZ. Is that also feasible? You take, I take, let's give peace a chance. Is that feasible? Given how everybody has swords drawn, everybody fighting profusely to ensure that they have victory, to ensure that they make things, oh my, happen for their camp, because sacrifices would be made if you talk about political solution. So all the people who have been fighting, shouting, I support 3K, I support Fubara, some of them would have to pay a price, for all the shoutings they have made when there is a political solution. So enough people have said, oh yeah, the PDP governors are going to support. But have we looked at it from the perspective of political solution?
Forum notes the crisis in Rivers State of the party and commits to supporting the governor of Rivers State, and also resolve that the issue could be done through the political solution that will be required, and other measures that all the leaders, the organs of the party will be committed, so that we can go together and resolve this issue with minimal friction and division or rancor.
All right, so the National Working Committee, the party's board of trustees, and maybe some other notable figures in the party would be part of that political solution. How do you see this playing out? I mean, for one, if it does happen, it means it will be a death to all the legal issues, the back and forth at various high courts, Court of Appeals, and even now at the Supreme Court. So let's get your thoughts quickly on that one. Remember, you can send WhatsApp messages to the WhatsApp number 0809 0306 416. You could go on Facebook Live and drop your comment, or on YouTube Live and drop your comments, Nigeria Info page. Also on X, drop your comments there in Nigeria Info page. Let's look at now my second big story. It says petrol landing costs now 1,175 naira. And I asked the question on social media, are we still not paying subsidies? Are we still not paying subsidies? I mean, it's a good question, right? Because 2 months ago, is it 3 months ago? I can't remember, but sometime in the first quarter of the year, the question arose, have we still paying subsidy? Because we were looking at the market forces, the dollar beating the naira. We were looking at the price of crude oil in the international market space. And we looked at all of those indices, and we asked the question, how come petrol price still remained the same at the time? Because if we say we have deregulated that sector, it means that market forces, if it goes up, the price goes up. If it comes down, the price comes down. That's what it means by market forces affecting an item, right? However, we saw a stagnant price. And before the stagnant price, I remember sometime last year, the government, I think in October or November of 2023, the federal government said, you know what, there will be no further increment in petrol price. NNPCL also re-echoed or reiterated that statement. And my goodness, since then, we have not seen an official increase in price of petrol, pump price of petrol. But, I mean, it's increased. Usually there is a talk about scarcity of, or is it the lack of logistics? I think that's what they usually would say. And unofficially, the price will go up, right? Has the price come down since the last time we talked about logistics? anyways, jokes apart. Now, there is the report. All right, so there is a report. The landing cost of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, was 1,117 litre as of Tuesday, July the 16th, 2024. The Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria announced yesterday. Now, MEMAN, which is the acronym, disclosed this during a webinar with journalists. Yesterday, the association revealed that the landing cost of diesel was 1,157 litre, while that of aviation fuel was 1,200 or 1,127 litre. I beg your pardon. Okay, the cost of petrol is far above the pump price of the product in Nigeria. Are we still not paying subsidy? That's the question I'm asking. Commercial break.
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
p.m. listening to Hard Facts and 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kaladaka Rubat. But now, before the commercial, I was asking the question, are we still paying for subsidy? And it's very much a needed question, because a lot of the economic troubles that we are faced with, the economic storms that we're navigating, are as a result of the removal of petrol subsidy. We've been asked to fasten our economic belt. Some of us are not eating regularly as we should. We cannot afford to pay rent. We cannot afford to pay bills because of certain economic troubles, and we have been told to hold on for a little bit. As a matter of fact, if you read the letter sent by the APC to the Senate before the demotion of Alain Dume, you would have seen the part where it was written that trying to chase away political investors. And I also made the argument yesterday while we talked about it that there is to talk about patience. Recently some APCs there go to that call for patience, right? So what are we even patient about? What are we being patient about? If they are still, NPCL is still insisting that they are not paying subsidy. But if landing cost is 1117 naira, then how is petrol selling for, let's not use NNPCL petrol stations now. Let's look at, independent marketers, petrol stations. It's selling for maybe in some parts of Port Harcourt 750. I don't know how much you buy it. I usually don't buy petrol. But my point is, how can it be somewhere above 700 naira when the landing cost is and we didn't just manufacture the landing cost, right? The price of the landing cost, it was given to us by energies marketers who have said, hey, this is what it is. Are we still not paying? Which way, Nigeria? I'm wondering what we've been patient about. But anyway, Trace, let's now look at our last big story for today. Oh my. So I hear there was this seminar that has to do with the education sector, and the Minister for Education was present. I think it was convened by JAMB, and the Minister for Education was there. And while speaking, he stirred a controversy. Yes, he started a trouble, and the whole hall, the people present went into some kind of frenzy. I'll tell you about it. You must have read about it already. So he came out. Remember, we talked about it one time. One prof from. I'm trying to remember his name now, but I mean the pronunciation of his name, so I don't get it wrong. But yeah, we talked about it. We talked about it with one prof from the University of Port Harcourt, the educational faculty. And we looked at it, and we also spoke with a professor of economics on that issue as well. And the reason why we did, because there was the talk that you must be 18 before you get into the university, and that they were going to make a law to that effect. And after a while, about a day or two, there was the uproar, and that was pushed aside, Now the conversation has come up again, and this time the Minister for Education has come out to say 18 years is the required age for you to get into the university. And he said, if we follow the right system or structure as instituted by law, that you are only supposed to arrive at the university by 18 years. However, the crowd said, no, everybody was in a frenzy. And although the minister tried to talk, they refused and they would not let him. It took the intervention of the JAM registrar. Is it a JAM registrar now? I can't remember. But it took the intervention of some official of JAM to be able to pacify the crowd. After much back and forth, the minister later accepted the suggestions of stakeholders that from 16 years and above should be eligible for this year's admission, while the law would apply from next year. So I'm sorry I'm laughing. I'm sorry, because I don't know if it really matters if the person is 16 or 18, because I do feel at 16 there is no much difference with someone who is at 18. I stand to be corrected. I mean, we've all been 16 before. We've also all, maybe not all, but I just want to believe that majority of the listeners are wrong. I want to believe there are, and we have been employed. You must be less than 27 with 3 years or 2 years or 1 year experience. You must be, you know what I'm talking about, right? Now, if you have a bachelor's degree, by the way, nobody really looks at you. So everybody is trying to up the ante. Everybody's trying to get a master's and a PhD and still be under 30. So if you start at 18, are you going to be able to? And then you want to also put into consideration courses like medicine that has got a long lifespan. You're in school for 6, 7, 8 years. And then when you come out, you want to, what's that called again now? It just skipped my head. You want to specialize. Specialization will take you another, 1, 2 years. So that's like almost a decade of your life. And if you start at 18, you'll be 28. Some would ask, does it give room for other things? When do I start my life? I'm wondering, 18 or 16? It's like a vote now, right? So you tell me what it is, and I'm going to go to the phone lines because I've been gisting and I've not been looking at the clock. It is 3:34 p.m. and so it's time for me to take calls. It's time for me to hear what your views are as it relates to the issues on the review. I am Kalada Kurubat, but always my pleasure. And for some reason, I'm extra excited having you on the other side. I mean, I really need the company on the show, so I'm going to go straight to the phone lines right now and let's talk for development. Remember, the numbers are the same, but let's reel them out once again for our first time listeners. 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, and 0817 923 0007. Call numbers. That's what I just reeled out. WhatsApp number then is 0809 0306416. Now, I see some of you still send voice notes. I've stopped taking voice notes from a long time ago. So let's just stick with sending in messages, and I would really appreciate that if we can do it. But what do I have is okay, first caller. Let them
Yeah, good afternoon, Canada.
Yeah. Good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I want to look at the local government autonomy and the local government election. Canada, you can remember that the Supreme Court pronouncement really bar the governors from interfering in the affairs of the local government. And also, in this local government election that they are about to conduct, I think that it is the duty of the National Assembly, since the local government will be having their direct allocation from the federal government, that it is the right of INEC to conduct local government election.
Okay.
In that regard, the National Assembly should also swing into action in amending the Nigerian Constitution to empower the INEC to conduct local government election. Because if I may ask, Kalada, in RISEC appointment, who appoints RISEC chairman in River State? If I may ask, I just want to ask you that.
I'm wondering what big story you're reacting to, by the way, because I'm wondering when I mentioned local government and no local government autonomy. All right, thank you very much. Uchenna from Eche, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Akalo.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, happy Thursday.
Yeah, you can say
So
that.
I want to look at Governors Forum of PDP settling the crisis in River State and at the same time supporting our governor. So my question is, who are they settling our governor with? Is it they are settling our governor with APC, or they are governing our governor with the former governor that are picked with APC already? That APC is feeding.
Uchenna, first of all, what's your words? Secondly, I'm going somewhere, Uchenna. Secondly, the former governor has said on countless occasions that he is not a member of the APC and he would not join the APC. So,
all right,
let's go to what we know.
Okay. Now the lawmakers have debated to APC. Are they the ones governors are settling with? Mr. Sim, that's our governor. So are they saying that the lawmakers are gone? So we want to be with you to ensure that you finish your tenure. Calling the AP, the people that have defeated to come back, you want to settle the
but that's not Uchenna, that's not what they have said. They've only said they will settle it or it can be settled politically.
Let them try to see what they can do on that to settle them, if they can do it. Because they have kept moves since, and this thing has been created to a level that they cannot even force that. What are they settling?
All right.
So the matter is also in Supreme Court. And another one is this. This tenor of the president that the Senate is trying to.
That's not our conversation now. Wait for it. By the way, another big story, because this is breaking news. Labour government agree on 70,000 naira as new national minimum wage. Is that good enough? Is that big enough? I'd like to hear from you. Labour government agree on 70,000 naira as new minimum wage. Okay, Frank from D-Line. Frank, welcome. Tell me, what are you thinking as it relates to the conversation that we are having?
Good afternoon, Mr. Batabo.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, let me comment on the PDP governors for promise to resolve the risk between former Governor Wike and Governor Fubara. But my worry is them, according to them, they say they support, they will stand by governor, they support governor. If they support governor, it means that they cannot resolve the matter. What I expected them to do is for them to go and meet with the DOC, National Working Committee, and former Governor Wike and the current Governor Fubara, so that they can resolve this matter.
But that's what they might have hinted on when they said this can be solved politically. I don't know if you listened when I talked about that story.
My former governor behaved. So I don't think my former governor will communicate. The governor of Bala Mohammed yesterday, the man will be happy with the communique.
All right.
They should have been neutral to say, okay, we want to resolve this matter rather than making comment that they start by governor. That is my own concern.
But the governor is
he's my former governor.
Okay.
So I need peace in my state. So I support them to resolve this matter amicably.
All right.
Thank you and God bless you.
Frank should note that Governor Siminalayi Fubara is also a member of the Governors Forums. Are they going to stand against him? But I've got Zion from JRA. Zion, welcome.
Thank you very much, Kalada.
What is on your mind, please?
Let me start with the landing cost.
Okay. All right.
Over 1,000 naira.
Yeah, 1,117, yeah?
That is to show that we have been paying for subsidy now.
no, when you say we, who are the we?
You and I.
Ah.
It affects your transportation. It affects commodities in the market. It affects everything. So if the landing cost is 1,170 and we are buying products at the pump price at the rate of 650, 670, or some even 800, then who is paying for the remaining one now? Over 300 or 400, who is paying for it? When a government is characterized with lies, it gets to a point they don't know what to say again.
All right.
That's why my mother advised, look, don't tell lies. Oh. The day you tell one lie, you have to keep producing more lies to cover up the past lie too.
Okay.
So to free your mind and be free, just say the truth. Now, for our age, our wants to enter the university at the age of 16 or 18, to me, I feel that those things are not relevant. By the grace of God, some of us have been cultivated knowledge. We spend money on our children for them to have a brighter education, to be better than us. Even the Bible awarded that. So why should you stop my kids from accessing the university at the age of 15? If yours cannot attend, is it my fault? If I have given mine all the requisite equipment, the requisite knowledge on how to get to the university at the age of 14, should I be penalized for that?
All right.
I want to beg the educational sector. There are better things and better policies to enhance and make our educational system more formidable than this particular age we are discussing.
All right. Thank you, Zion. Zion, thank you. Once again, I would reiterate the breaking news. Federal government, organized labor agree on 70,000 naira as minimum wage. Is that good enough? Is that enough? I mean, it's not like you can change it, but I'm just going to throw that question at you. Labor had said it must be over 200,000. Is it 250? But now they arrived at 70,000 naira. With the cost of things in the marketplace, with how food items are expensive and costly, with how much you pay as house rent and transportation, and by the way, these are basic amenities of life, do you think as minimum wage 70,000 is enough? And what that also means is that there will be the increment in subsequent levels, in other higher levels of the civil service. But I've got Bright, who is at Rumodumaya. Bright, welcome. How are you this afternoon?
Good evening. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Let me begin with labor.
Okay.
The 70,000 they have agreed. Before now, I think Edo State have started paying 70,000.
True.
For me, I don't think it's bad. The major thing is that, the concern is that, hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Okay, the concern is that if all the states will be able to pay, that is another thing. So the 70,000 is good. Let them pay it. That is the major thing.
All right.
Then the governors forum, PDP governors forum, talking about they stand by Fubara to bring peace between the problem in River State. It's a good one. But I think they are coming late. If you ask me, the reason is that, secondly, again, the Wike and his supporters know how Fubara came to power. And whatever thing that will happen, without understanding maybe the sense of Wike and his supporters, it will be difficult. Because any other thing that they will say in terms of trying to fight Fubara without hearing taking some decision from Wike may not work. Thank you. Right.
All right. Thank you very much for your thoughts there. Let's read messages now. And I'd like to go to the Facebook platform to start from there. But I would once again, because it's not reading, it's not yet on Facebook or on YouTube. So for those of you just joining the live stream, I would tell you Labour has agreed a minimum wage amount with the federal government, and that is 70,000 naira. Now, Newton Ikira on Facebook says, on the breaking news, 70,000 naira is an insult to the sensibilities of the poor masses of Nigeria. So all the grandstanding ended up with just 70,000 naira. Canada, are you aware cow tail is 25,000 and 2 laps of goat is 30,000? What the heck? Not good. The news should unbreak. But I mean, someone who's earning 70,000 naira should not be thinking of going to buy, a cow tail. I'm just saying, no offense. But you earlier said, what took them so long? I don't trust them. They are as unstable as the undulating sea waves. They say one thing and mean another. The ways of politicians. That's responding to the PDP governor standing with Governor Fubara. And you said petrol landing costs their calendar. Yes. This government is still paying subsidy. We have been scammed. And talking about the entry age for university students, he said it should be when it is due, 9, 10, 12, 15, etc. Away with this flow of retrograde. The world is moving forward. Let's move with it. Yabu Kelvin Frank says, the outburst of the PDP governors on the long political unrest in Rivers State is a right step in the right direction, although this came as Governor Sim blamed PDP of silence, sensing foul play with PDP National. And if PDP recently sought to weigh in, their standpoint should be back Governor Sim on the unknown River Sons fighting him from Abuja, and not act as proxy to subject Governor Sim to bow down to a man-made God. Never. PDP should know that losing River State, whether by election or defection, would certainly be a big blow to the PDP Nigeria, meaning going extinct. Hashtag join Sim protect PDP. Kevin Frank in the diaspora. All right, Calvin, thank you. I'm looking for more messages now on Facebook before I go on the WhatsApp platform to read messages therein. Okay, there are lots of messages. Carrie D. John says, what has the governor done or governors done to support a stand with Governor Sim? Only mouth. Let them remove Wike from the party first. Carrie D. John. Chama Kingsley Warlu says the governors forum should show working, not only by talking. Christopher Nwogu says PDP governors stand with Governor Fubara. We want to see actions from these governors, not media talk. PDP has failed in the handling of the crisis in Rivers State. PDP is a weak opposition and lacks discipline. Amechi Ezekiel says the PDP governor's pronouncement should just be a mere saying. They should be practical by taking the bold steps to tell the FCT minister, I'm going to correct that, and his court to stop harassing the governor. They should expel Wike for anti-party activities. Menye Crack Commander says the decision of the PDP governors is belated. This is the first time in Nigeria where governors sat aloof and watched their colleague being humiliated in such a manner. Daniel Okuku says, good afternoon, Canada. The education minister stirs debate on university entry age. To me, is a welcome development, and I believe it is going to contain little moral values in this system and society at large. But government should also consider age factor when it comes to employment and retirement. I think it should be adjusted too. Secondly, petrol landing costs He says it is very shameful to whatsoever cabal or individual involved in this selfish greed causing hardship on Nigerians. I ask, what happened to so-claimed Dangote refinery and others? They should fear nature for once before the youth beast up, because we are close to final anger. We hail and keep hailing the unbelievable. All right. Oluna John Amechi says Rivers crisis will stand by Fubara PDP governors. This is a welcome development. That PDP is not waking up to the responsibility and knowing that one man can play God in PDP and Rivers State. It is a wake-up call to those thinking that they will pocket Rivers State to know that the fight is won already. The statement has made my day. This is indeed what I've expected from these governors, and thank God today they are out in solidarity with a man whom God has given the lead, but some elephants don't want him to concentrate. Gift in Joko says subsidy is gone. Check very well. It is like government is running a secret cult kind of government. It's just been sarcastic there. So many messages on Facebook. I think I would have to take a pause now and read some messages on WhatsApp because my time is almost up. Roland in Wosa says subsidy is gone. I don't know if Jagaban truly knows the real meaning of gone. I wonder what you mean by that. But let's come to WhatsApp platform now. This one says PDP governors taking Savi Governor Fubara is coming late but highly commendable. I listened to Governor Bala Mohammed. He didn't speak factual and committed to the opposition. It is better for the PDP to stand with Fubara or Wike. Let Rivers people take their position. And me for Ernest. Thank you. And this one says a cup of beans is 450, a cup of rice is 350, Gary paint rubber is 5,000, and they have agreed 70,000 now. Tell me, how will corruption end in the country? Because anybody that can meet up will definitely steal. If the governors can do it, then they should, because River State is lagging behind, I think he meant to say. I also think that they should have left it at 18 years. Too many kids are in our universities. Churchill texting from Omagua, and this one says, how will they stand and support him when Wike controls the structure of the party in the state? Kings is asking, but let's see. Asitoko A says, greetings KDB, our poor labor has been hoodwinked to agree to modern slavery salary called minimum wage. As for landing cost issues, Nigeria is a farm filled with lies and mischief. I urge Nigerians to join politics and wait for their turn to farm as well. No more complaint. Our leaders have no headway to our suffering. Okay. I hope that's not the case, by the way. Labour should be ashamed of themselves. So after all these battles with the federal government, that is all they could agree with the federal government. 70,000? Labour is a joke. Nelson Igwe from Aba. All right, Nelson Igwe, I guess, is very, very angry there. Canada, no one should settle Mr. Wike and Governor Sim. Rather, Mr. Nigerian president should remove his hand in supporting the FCT minister and let see his power. In fact, I was thinking by now Governor Sim should have collected all that the FCT minister took from Rivers people with executive power. Dan Wariboko BG, what did he take? Do you have evidence? What did the minister take? I like to hear, I like to see, I like to know. This was you see why I said the NLC is the latest joker in Nigeria. 70,000 naira. It is totally unacceptable for me. Cost of governance should be cut down. Biko Clef Austin Rodriguez with that one. Oh my. Iboroma from Ingboba says, good afternoon, Canada. The decision, let's see if I have time. Oh my, I do have a commercial, so I would take a pause. When I do come back, I'll read some more messages, and you and I will talk some more. Remember, today is for you and I.
For more talk, news and sports, stay tuned to Nigeria Info. We'll be right back after this. Port Harcourt City.
Introduce